Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm waiting till people are coming in. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a very interesting show because it's unlike anything you've learned. As you come in, leave a comment. Okay, so this is unlike anything you've learned. So many people are going to be taken aback because we're dealing with mind control here. And we're doing this for one reason. I'm doing this for one reason and one reason only: deprogramming. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Let me say that again. I am doing this for one reason and one reason only, and that is deprogramming. Maria Jo, welcome. Okay, Avion, welcome. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching me on Odyssey, YouTube, and on Facebook. E. Carter, welcome. As you know, not that I really care, but as you know, they artificially suppress my numbers. Oops. Hold on. Okay, so as you know, Chanelly, welcome. They work overtime to artificially suppress my numbers to make it look like no one listens. But they listen, and I know they listen. Okay? Tony, welcome. Chanelly, welcome. All right, we're going to get started right away. Let me make it clear why we're discussing this topic. Okay, Isaac, welcome. We're discussing this topic not, let me make myself clear. Okay, racism is a programming. Let me say this again. Racism is a programming. Now, are there genetic differences between people? Of course. Are there cultural differences between people? Of course. Are there ethnic differences between people? Ronald, welcome. Nora, welcome. Of course. Are there color differences between people? Of course. Let me ask you a question. Is there only one type of mango tree that grows? Is there one type of cucumber that grows? Is there only one beach on earth? Is there only one breed of dog? No. The basis of differentiation, before we get started, let me or deprogram the programmed. The purpose of me doing this is not to incite color-coded division. We have enough people spending enough money to do that. Today's session is for one reason and one reason only: to deprogram the programmed zombies. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? The reason that there is differentiation in everything is for one reason: survival. And when I say survival, I don't mean one group oppressing another group in order to survive. No. It means that if there are disasters, the likelihood of you surviving would be greater if there's differentiation. Homogeneity, I'm not talking about homosexuality, I'm talking about a single racial species. Okay, like if the planet was all black, if the planet was all white, if the planet was all Asian, yada, yada, yada. Homogeneity is dangerous in that if there is catastrophe or calamity, the likelihood of survival decreases. So the wisdom that is in creation itself uses differentiation so that the species can carry itself longer. Many people like to think that the animal species have a lower level of intelligence than humans. And I would like to argue that is a lie. MSKE, welcome. Insightful, welcome. Many believe that the animal species have a lower intelligence, and I don't believe in IQ, okay? Because intelligence is based on environment, not damn stupid ass books. And don't get me wrong, books are great, but your intelligence is not based upon how much shit you know in a book. Okay? If someone were to drop you in the jungles in Congo, okay? Let's look at so-called IQ. Okay? If someone were to drop you who are well read in the jungles in Congo, will you survive the same way how the tribes in the jungles in Congo survive? No, you will die. And you will die with your pseudo false assumptions about intelligence, because intelligence is region specific. It is not book specific. Okay, but let's get back to the argument at hand. Today's session is to deprogram program zombies. What today's session is not, it is not to be used to fuel racism. It is not to be fueled to use to fuel color-coded superiority. It is to deprogram black zombies and white zombies, because they're programmed, and they're programmed with an intention to get the two of them to kill each other at a certain point in time. And my objective here, I am not trying to build a bridge between white people and black people. I don't have time to build bridges, okay? If you haven't figured out that there is a group that work in the shadows at the top that hate all humans, good luck. You'll figure it out eventually. But what I'm simply here to do is to show you facts and to give you understanding of how things get weaponized to be used for agendas. In no way, shape, or form am I making light of crime. Crime is real. Crime hurts people. Crime affects people. Crime is real. I am not delegitimizing crime in any way. It is real. What I am going to do is deprogram you from the assumptions, from the notions, and from the projections and programming associated with crime. Let me make myself clear. This is not to put one color above the next. This is to show you how you're being programmed psychologically, how you're being mind controlled to believe things that are not true, and then you act upon those assumptions. Okay? All right. Let's get started. And I know people are still going to fight, because when people encounter the truth, which goes perpendicular to deep-seated, deep-rooted beliefs, they reject it, they fight it, they become uncomfortable. The truth either supersedes their lies, and then there is a character change, or the truth gets suppressed, and then they continue and they double down in the lies. Okay? We're going to look at actual government data. Actual government data. Anyone can look at this data, so they can't say, I'm making this up. And of course, they turned my screen peach. They turned my screen peach. Okay. They did that. My screen never used to be that peach color. They turned it that color because of the topic today we're going to discuss. But let's get started anyway. Okay, you know how these creatures operate. Anything that's the truth. Oh my God. Anything that pertains to the truth, you know, they don't like. Just give me a minute here. Let me just get started. They turn that screen that color, so you have a difficult time looking at the material. But that's okay. We're gonna look at the material anyway. All right? Peach screen or no peach screen? Just give me 1 second here before we get started. Okay, so let me start again. The notion of crime in the United States, the presumptions, the assumptions, the projections are 99% lies. Crime is real. But what you're taught about crime from your media, from Hollywood, is just that, a Hollywood fairy tale. But here's the thing. Most people believe Hollywood as truth. If it is on your television, let me say this again. If it's on your television, okay? If it comes from the television, it is a Hollywood production. Kay Wright, welcome. If it comes from the television, it is a Hollywood production. Let's continue. Let's look at the crime statistics in 2019 from the FBI. I'm going to post you the link so no one can say I'm making this up. This is 2019 FBI crime statistics. Anyone can go look this up, so no one can say I'm making this up. As you can see, ucr.fbi.gov. Okay, I'm not the one making it up. They turned my screen peach so you can't see it properly. 2019 crime in the United States. 2019 crime in the United States, and this is the table of all the crimes in the United States. Oh, look, I'm not making it up. Okay, so it's arrests by race and ethnicity. Okay, 2019 down here, estimated population, let's round it off to 230 million Americans, right? And they're looking at arrests, the crime statistics for the entire country based upon two factors, race and ethnicity. As you can see, this is the FBI, and I'm not making it up, right? Before we get started, the notion on your television is that the majority of crime committed in the United States is committed by Black people. I'm going to keep saying this until the zombies wake up and realize they're being lied to. The majority of crime in the United States is not being committed by Black people. And I'm going to show you the actual data. Okay, let's get started. Table 43A of the FBI crime statistics. Total arrests. Now, what does total mean? Total means under the assumption of 100%, right? All of the crimes by race. Not some, not half, not a percentage, not 20%, not 30%, not 40%. Total arrests by race. If you go to the table far left, you get the type of charge. Okay, the type of charge when you actually look at the type of arrest. I think it's 28 to 30 types of charges. Okay, you have for the adult population in the United States, this is adult at top, and this is under 18 at the bottom. Okay, so I'm not just showing you the FBI crime statistics, I'm teaching you how to look at the data. Okay, all right. Now let me start off before I start. I am not doing this to perpetuate racism in America. All your PSYOP agencies have budgets to do that. What I am trying to do is to show that what you're being told, absent of the actual statistics, is to engender fear and distrust among Americans so that you would continue fighting each other for crumbs, so that you would continue hating each other for crumbs, so that you would continue killing each other for crumbs, so that you would continue dividing each other for crumbs. Is everyone in the building? Do not take my video and use it for racism. That is not my intent. My intent is merely to deprogram the programmed. Let's continue. 2019. Is a lot of material to cover, but let's go. So we're looking at the total crimes. The offenses is about 30 offenses, 28 to 30 offenses on your far left for adults, and about 28 to 30 offenses on your far left under 18. Okay? Under 18. Okay? All right. And then 18 and over. Okay? All right. So let's start with the actual statistics. Right here. Let's stop right there. Let's see if I can make this screen a little bit bigger. Why this has to be done, unfortunately, it has to be done because the narrative is a lie. And since we're in the age of telling the truth, let's tell all truth and nothing but the truth, right? Give me a second. Okay, that's perfect. All right, here we are. So right here, it says for 2019, these are the total arrests for crime in the United States. 6,800,000. I'm just going to round it off. 6,800,000. Remember, the crime was based on race and ethnicity. Okay? Race and ethnicity. Okay? Oh, look. The population of the United States in 2019, it's that low? I thought America had 300 million people. Whatever. I'm not even going to go there. 230 million people. Out of 230 million people, the FBI recorded 7, I'm rounding it off, million arrests for crime. Let's go again. 230 million people, the FBI recorded 7 million arrests for crime. Is everyone following? Do I have your attention? Is everyone following? Okay, great. All right, let's continue. They're telling you that race, meaning your skin color, and your ethnicity, there were 7 million arrests in the United States for crime. The first thing you must do when you see 7 million arrests is say, the majority of the American people, 230 million minus 6 million, okay? 7 million, okay? So it'd be 223 million, okay? 223 million, I hope I got that right. No, okay, 223 million, yes, are law-abiding citizens. Is anyone in the building? The majority of America are law-abiding citizens. But if you watch the news, you wouldn't believe that. Is anyone deprogrammed today? Queen, welcome. Kay Wright, welcome. T. Gordon, welcome. I said, is anyone deprogrammed today? Or are we still zombies? If 230 million people in America are in America, and the FBI says 7 million, I'm just rounding it off, committed crimes, then 223 million are assumed to be law-abiding citizens. Okay, we're saying assumed. That's why I said assumed to be law-abiding citizens. Okay, right, Avion? I get what you're saying. I'm saying the assumption. Okay, because we have to leave. Okay, so let's round it off. Let's say 10 million people commit crime in the United States. 10 million people, right? So that would be 220 million people, let's say, known and unknown. Known to the FBI, 7 million, 3 million are criminals, and the FBI didn't catch them. So let's say 10 million, right? So if there's 230 million people in America, then 220 million are law-abiding citizens. Let's continue. T. Gordon, let me just say something really quickly. This is not about race. This is about deprogramming. Okay, and I'm going to tell you something about critical race theory. Critical race theory is an agenda. They don't give a damn about Black people. If you're going to teach history, teach history. But critical race theory is Marxist ideology. I don't want to go there today, but let's continue. I get your point, but let's continue. Let's continue, right? So let's get to the white crimes. According to the FBI, 7 million people committed crimes. We're rounding this off to make the numbers simple. The FBI then says about 5 million of the 7 million, we're rounding it off, were white people who committed crimes. This is 2019. The FBI goes to Black people. We're rounding the numbers off to make it easy. 2 million crimes, not 2 million Black people, 2 million crimes were committed by Black people. So if your total is 7 million, and roughly 5 million of the crimes committed were white people, and 2 million of the crimes committed were Black people, who committed the majority of crimes in 2019, according to the FBI? It's right there in front of your screen. I'm just rounding it off to make it simple. Who committed the majority of the crimes? Is it white or is it Black? It's right there in front of the screen. Avion, thank you. But if you watch your 6 o'clock news, the only criminals in the United States is who? You see, this is why you need to be deprogrammed. If you watch your 6 o'clock news, and I'm not doing this to engender color-coded divisions, there are departments who get billions of dollars to keep white people and Black people hating each other. I'm not here to do this. What I'm here to do to Black people and what I'm here to do for white people is to deprogram you. That's it. Are you following? If you are watching the 6 o'clock news, matter of fact, if you're watching any news, the only people who commit crime in the United States are whom? Ronald, that's based upon the crime statistics in the United States. Okay? It's right there, people. 7 million crimes. I'm just rounding it off, right? 5 million of those, rounded off, just leave me alone. Okay, 4,800,000, okay, whatever, were committed by Caucasians. 1.8, 2 million people, 2 million crimes, not people, crimes, because you don't know if one person is committing multiple crimes, okay, were committed by Blacks. Native Americans was 200,000. Asians was under 100,000. Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander was 20,000. Let's get to the percentage distribution according to the FBI. The total is 100. 70% of the crimes in the United States was committed by Caucasians. 26.6 was committed by blacks. 2.4 American Indian, 1.3 Asian, 0.3 Native Hawaiian. But if you watch the 6 o'clock news, the only people in America committing crimes are black. Does it begin to look like programming, people? Does it begin to look like programming? Are you following? Okay, let's drill down because they love to talk about violent crime. Because not only are the only people who commit crime in the United States black, the only people who commit violent crime in the United States are the black boogeyman. Okay, let me make myself clear. I am not doing this to engender racism. You have enough PSYOP programs paid billions of dollars so that white people in America and black people in America can hate each other. I am not doing this for that. What I am doing this for is to deprogram the zombies. Is anyone in the building? Let's look at murder. Let's look at murder. Remember, the population of the United States is 230 million people, according to the government statistics, which is really crazy because I thought it was 330 million people, or whatever, in 2019. This is the government statistics, okay? Murder and manslaughter. The total for 2019 was 8,000 murders in the United States. Okay. 3,650 were committed by whites. Okay. Roughly 400 more were committed by blacks. 4,078. Let me ask you a question. Is 4,000 really bigger than 3,600? No, it's not. But blacks in America did commit more murder at about 600 people more. But when you watch the news, they make you think, whoa, 500,000 people were murdered by black people and nobody else murdered anyone. These are the actual statistics. I am in no way undermining crime. I will not undermine crime and the victims. It hurts. Crime is wrong. What I am here to do is show you that crime is being committed across the board by all groups, and the only group who gets arrested more and vilified more are blacks. Okay. Are you seeing the numbers with your own two eyes? Are you seeing the numbers with your own two eyes? Okay. In terms of percentage, 45% of the 8,000 murders were committed by whites. Okay. 51.2% of the 8,000 murders were committed by blacks. So about 6% more, okay, give or take, were committed by blacks. Are you beginning to see that you've been brainwashed to believe that the majority of crime are committed by Black people and the only crimes are committed by Black people? Can you see the brainwashing? Is everyone seeing the brainwashing? Is everyone seeing the brainwashing? Is everyone seeing the deceit? Let's continue. Because remember, according to the news, violent crimes are only committed by Black people, and the majority of crimes are only committed by Black people. Nobody else commits crimes, only Black people. Let's look at the statistics. Let's get to rape. For 2019, 16,600 rapes occurred in the United States. So more rapes, and this is violent. This is considered violent crime. Okay, rape is violence. And I am not undermining crime. I am not here to delegitimize crime. Crime is wrong and it destroys life. What I am trying to do is show how it is used as a weapon on the American population so that they will fight and hate each other. 16,600 rapes occur in the United States in 2019. 12,000, let me be specific, 11,588 of the 16,000 were committed by whites. 4,427 of the 16,000 was committed by Blacks. When you watch the news, who does the news portray as America's rapists? Are you beginning to see how you're being programmed? Is anybody in the building? Are you guys seeing this? Ronald, I'm not here for that. Ronald, I'm not here for that. Okay? I am reading the statistics. Okay? Let me say it again. I am not here for pro-Black, anti-white, pro-white, nor anti-Black. I am here to deprogram. You have enough. Yeah. I don't doubt Nazi-style racism. I live in New York, where they're so-called liberal and equal, and I went through hell. But it's a program, and this is the root of the programming. That's why I'm going after it, right? So please, I'm not here to elevate white people and denigrate Black people. I'm not here to denigrate Black people and elevate white people. I told you in the beginning, I'm here to show you the programming. I'm going through Nazi-style persecution as well, right? But I've had people on my show who are Caucasians going through Nazi-style programming by who? Understand it's a program, right? So let's continue. Let's look at robbery. Oh, let's look at the statistics for rape. I'm sorry. So the total percentage is 100, right? 70% of rapes in the United States, according to the FBI, were whites. 26.7% or 27% were Blacks. I'm just reading the statistics, okay? Keep the profile and names and all of that. You can figure that out. I'm just going by the numbers, okay? Are you seeing the pattern? Are you seeing the pattern? Are you understanding that there are people who weaponize crime? They don't look at crime for character. Guys, let me explain to you why they had to use so-called race in crime. Do you want to know why they used race in crime originally? Race in crime was used because how are you going to identify the person who committed the crime, people? Is anyone in the building? A crime happens. You said, okay, can you describe the person? Okay, they were 6 feet tall. Uh-huh. They had short hair. Okay. They had, beady eyes. Okay. Their nose, they had a nose. Okay. They had lips. All right. How the hell are you going to find the person who committed the crime, people? People, are you understanding that they took the data and weaponized the data to bring about an agenda? That's what I'm trying to show you. How are you going to know who committed the crime if you don't describe them? Are they tall? Yes. Are they short? Are they black? Yes. Are they white? How are you going to know who committed the crime if you don't describe them? So you have to describe the person who committed the crime. That is the whole purpose of including race in crime. But there were those who saw an what they call opportunity. Oh, whoa. Do you know crime for some people is an opportunity? Crime statistics is an opportunity for certain people who have interests in business. Are you understanding? Let me show you. A social opportunity. If you're the majority, let me show you. If you're the majority skin color in a country, you don't want the majority of your young men in prison. Is anyone in the building? Let me say that again. If you are a social engineer, okay, and you have money, okay, and you happen to be the same skin color as the majority of people in the country, you're not going to want the majority of people that look like you in jail. Is anyone in the building? So for them, at the top with money, I'm teaching you how they think. I used to be around these people. I used to be around them. They don't think the way you think. And many white people are waking up and they're realizing, hold on, I thought we had special privileges. Don't let any white person tell you that they did not have privileges. They did. Okay? Because if you ask them, do you want to be treated like black people? The answer would be hell never. Okay? But now they're waking up and they're realizing those at the top may look on the outside, because they're not human, like a regular white person. They may look like it. But when they put policies in, white people are beginning to get what we call a Negro wake-up call. Asians are beginning to get a Negro wake-up call. Arabs and people of the Middle East for the last 20 years had their Negro wake-up call. You following? You following? Okay, let me show you how they weaponize crime, and we got to get back to the statistics. How they weaponize crime, and they used race as an opportunity. So if you're at the top and you look like a certain color, right? You don't want the majority of people at the bottom. Well, now they do. Now they're like, oh no. Now, you see all those white people? They want them all in jail. You know why? Because they flipped the order. You know why they want them in jail? Because they're like, shit, we can't bring about the New World Order and they have all that power. White people are going to say, we don't have privileges. It's not what you think. It's what those in power believe. Are you understanding? It is not what you think. It's what those who have the money and the power believe. And they believe that the enemy of the United States at this point in time is white people because they have too much money and too much power. That's why they're coming after them. They already know we destroyed black people for 400 years and we kept them at the bottom of the economic pyramid, right? So they're looking at Caucasians now as their number one threat because they're like, listen, we gave them way too much money and way too much power. That's how they think. This is why I'm doing this. Not to say whites commit more crime, but to show you they weaponized crime to bring about an agenda, which is division, prison, and when you're in prison, you work like a slave. Guns, the same thing. Let's continue. Right? So robbery, that's the last one I'm going to do. You can look at the crime statistics yourself. Okay, robbery. Okay, 2019, 56,000 robberies occurred in 2019. 25,000 of those robberies were white. 29,000 plus were black. Okay, let's look at the percentage over here. 44.7, 45,000 as a percentage of the robberies in the United States were white. 52%, 53%, because you're looking at 52.7, 53% were black. Is 53 that much bigger than 44? Not really. But okay, for the sake of being racist, yeah, let's be racist. It's more. But here's what I want to show you. Okay? 56,000 robberies occurred in the United States, and robbery is wrong. It hurts people. But 56,000 robberies occurred with a population of 230 million people. Are you beginning to see something here? Are you beginning to see something? The first thing you need to see is the majority of Americans are decent people. White and black. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? 56,000 robberies out of 230 million people is less than 1% of the population, people. Matter of fact, way less than 1%. Matter of fact, 7 million. 7 million. 7 million. If 1%, okay, is 2.3, let's say 230 million people, 1% is 2.3, right? 6.8%? 7%? I mean, 6.8 million people. The majority of people are law-abiding people. The majority of Americans live peacefully with each other. Is anyone in the building? Is anyone in the building? Are you following? Let's continue. So the majority of robberies in the United States for 2019 was black people. But by 5% more. One is 45%, the other one is 53% people. More than 5%, plus 5% more. I'm sorry. Okay, let's look at aggravated assault. Let's look at, these are violent crimes, okay? Aggravated assault. And then we're going to go on to the other statistics because we don't have much time. 274,376 aggravated assault, violent crime, was committed year 2019 in America. Okay? Remember, black people are violent. Remember, that is the narrative you see every day in the news and social media. The only people committing violent crime are black people. You black people, and the black man is a criminal, and the black man is violent, and yada yada, blah blah blah. FBI statistics. 274,000 aggravated assaults occurred in the United States. 169,000 of them was committed by whites. 91,000 of them was committed by blacks. Which is the larger number, people? Remember, when you look at the news, the only violent, crazy people in the United States are black people, right? Which is the larger number, 169,000 or 91,000? Okay. Let's look at it. Let's look at it as a percentage. 62% of aggravated assault in 2019 was committed by whites. 33.2% was committed by blacks. The numbers are in front of you, people. The numbers are in front of you. All right, let's look at larceny and theft. Okay, because remember, the only people who steal in the United States are black people. Okay? The only people who steal, those people who are boosting or whatever they call it, running into Fifth Avenue and running away with the goods, the only people who do it are black. Okay? I'm here to deprogram you, people. People, they're doing these things so that you hate each other. Larceny and theft, 592,679 larceny theft occurred in the United States year 2019. The white population that, what's the word I'm looking for? The white population that, committed, that's the word I'm looking for, larceny and theft was 393,226. The black population that committed larceny and theft was 178,000. Not people, but the action, the theft. Which is the larger number? This is larceny and theft as a percentage. 66.3% white people committed larceny and theft. 30.2% black people committed larceny and theft. People, you're being brainwashed. But let's look at this number. All crime is wrong. And crime hurts people. I am not delegitimizing crime. Crime, for God's sake, is wrong. It hurts people. What I'm here to do is to show you that you're being programmed to believe a certain narrative that is not true. When you look at the overall larceny and theft in the United States, and then you look at the US population, people, it is less than 1%. Is anyone in the building? Yes. Yeah. T. Gordon, thank you. T. Gordon, thank you. 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 T. Gordon, I wish YouTube gave out stars. I wish, like, social media, like when someone makes a bomb comment, they get like double, triple hearted. You get where I'm going with this. Let me go back to my point, because there are going to be white people, oh, she's anti-white. Meanwhile, I said 1,000 times, I am doing this to deprogram, because they are programming Americans against each other. If the news tells you, oh, the black man is the boogeyman, okay? Every time you see a black man, oh, he gonna rob me. No, I'm not saying there aren't black people that's gonna rob you. There are. But there are also white people that can rob you too. Are you following? Is anyone in the building? Is anyone understanding what I'm saying? Okay? The first thing you need to understand in your deprogramming, no one wakes up in the morning and says, oh, I'm black. Let me go rob someone. Oh, I'm white. Let me go rob someone. Are you following? Crime is based upon 4 things. Okay. 3 of which I probably forgot. Desperation. Okay. A character issue. And the 3rd one, I forgot the 4th one, is mind control. A lot of people are under mind control, subliminal mind control. Yes, I said that. A lot of crime is being... Oh, and the 4th one, oh, no one's going to believe me when I say this. The 4th one, the 4th reason why people are committing crimes is because they're not people. Do you know how much cloning goes on in this country? Do you know how much MK Ultra goes on in this country? Hybridization. Anyway, it's 51 minutes and I have a lot. To get into. T. Gordon, that was a good comment. Although not every poor person commits crime. Okay, not every poor person commits crime. Because if you look at the statistics, the majority of Americans are law-abiding people. Right? All right, let's move on. That was 2019. Let me go and show you 2019 because we're already at 51 minutes, okay? Here we are, 2018. So you know I'm not making it up. Okay? Here we are, 2018, and here's the link. Ronald. Ronald, you're right. You are absolutely right with that comment. The majority of crimes are being committed by the rich. You're right. But you cannot deny that sometimes when people are poor, out of desperation, they commit crimes. So, Ronald, we're here to learn. Okay? All right, let's get to 2018. Okay, that was 2019. We're going to run through the statistics. Remember, I don't have time for racial division. You have enough federal agencies and co-opted agencies to keep Americans divided. I am just here to deprogram zombies. That's it. If you want to turn this into a race bit, turn it into a race bit. I'm not here for that. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to keep saying this, America, no one is denying that one of the pillars of the United States is racism. No one is denying that racism doesn't exist. It exists. It exists. But the fight at this point in time, people, is not the color of your skin. The fight at this point in time is that they want to create a system where you are not even free to think. You're not free to move. You're not free to believe as you wish. You're not free to question. Your fight is not skin color. Your fight is freedom of thought, freedom to move, freedom of religion, if you have any, spirituality, if you have any, freedom to work where you want to work, freedom to be where you want to be, and freedom to question. That is your fight at the moment. So I'm not here to perpetuate any sort of racism, white or black. You have enough people to do that. I'm just here for one reason, to deprogram zombies about crime in the United States. Let's continue. The population in 2018 was higher. Interesting. How the hell the population in 2018 was higher? God damn. The population in 2018 was higher than 2019. Interesting. Anyway, whatever. All right, let's look at the crime as a percentage because we got to move ahead. Total arrests for crime, 7,700,000. Okay, that's the total crime. Let's look at crime as a percentage in the United States. Percentage, because we got to move quickly. 100% of the crime in the United States, which is 7.7 million. 70% of the crime was committed by Caucasians. 27% was committed by blacks, 2.1% by Native Americans, 1.2% by Asians, 0.2% by Pacific Islander and Hawaiian. FBI crime statistics for 2018. You can go and you can look at it. So don't come to tell me, oh, murder, black people committed more murder than whites. Okay, so you're looking at 4,000 murders committed by whites and 4,778 murders committed by blacks. Oh, big difference. Oh, but it's based upon the fact that black people are 15% of the population. Give me a break. Okay? Well, they're more violent because they're less of the population. They commit, 700 more crimes. Give me a break. Okay? No one who's getting murdered is like, I'm being murdered by someone who's 10 to 15% of the population. Okay? You're being programmed. Okay? Rape is a violent crime. Robbery is violent. Aggravated assault is violent. Burglary is violent. Theft is violent. Motor vehicle theft is violent. Arson is violent. Property crime is violent. Okay? So you can't just take one and deny the other. All crime is violent against your fellow citizen and your fellow human. Right? Let's continue because I got to move quickly. That's 2018, I think. Here we are in 2017. You're seeing for yourself. 2017. I'm not making this up. It's on your screen, right? Hold on. I'm just moving ahead because I'm moving really quickly because it's already going close to an hour. Okay, so 2015. Damn. 2017, the population of America was larger than 2019. This is really interesting. 253 million. In 2019, the FBI said the population was 230 million. Interesting. La 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 la. Nothing to see here, folks. Is everyone following? Right? Is everyone following? Okay, Frilia, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. What she's saying is desperation. And I agree with Ronald, the majority of crimes are being committed by the rich. It's the truth. Not the poor. But if you are poor, you are likely to see the crime in front of you. Right? Let's continue. But guys, I don't care. I just want you to think. I don't care what you think. Just think. Just don't turn this into a race issue because it's a programming issue. Okay? I want you guys to think. I don't care what you think. Right? Just think. Just think. Right? So here we are. So here we are looking at the crime in 2017 in the United States. So you see, I'm not making this up. You see, I'm not making it up. I'm not crazy. Okay? Because they'll come and debunk it and say the FBI didn't say that. There's the link. I want to go through all of this crime because it's ridiculous now. The foolishness. So you have 8 million crimes, not people. This is not people. This is actual crimes, actual arrests. They told you what this table is about. It's not people. Okay? It's not people. It's 8 million arrests for crimes. So it's 8 million crimes that were recorded on the books. Now you're going to divide the crimes by skin color. Let's look at the percentage. Okay? 68% of the 8 million crimes committed were done by whites. 27% were done by blacks. Who commits the most crime, people? Are you beginning to understand how you're being programmed? And how, honestly, how black people are being scapegoated? It's not 27% of the population, people. No, don't misunderstand that number. It is not 27% of the American population. It is 27% of the 8 million arrests. Are you following? Are you following? It is 27% of the 8 million arrests. It is not 27% of 253 million people. The book How to Lie Using Statistics comes to mind. It is not 27% of 300 million people. I just made up that number. It's 253 million right here. It is 27% of 8 million arrests. It is 68% or 69% of 8 million arrests. You can drill down the data, okay? You can drill down the data here. It's there, people. It's there in front of you for anyone who's honest. That's 2017, 2018, let's go. 2016, I'm sorry. Okay, here we are. 2016, crime in the United States, FBI, 257 million people. Damn, the US population is shrinking. Now, why could that? Anyway, I'm not going to. 257 million people, right? Guys, okay, is everyone following? Okay, guys, let me ask you a favor. Can we stick to the topic? Ronald, I'm going to ask you politely. Stick to the topic. I want you to have your opinion. Keep your opinion. Stick to the topic. Right? So, oh, we're already at an hour. Good grief. I don't want to go too long. I got to cut this off. Okay. So 2016, okay, 8 million plus arrests were made for crime. Okay. Not 8 million people, because you got to remember, this is the crime statistics, not the overall population, not 300 million people, not 8 million, 8.5 million out of 300 million people. No, people. It is 8.5 million arrests, meaning one person could have committed multiple charges, multiple offenses. You understand? Let's continue. So let's look at it as a percent distribution. You have 100%. They're telling you 70%, 69.6, out of the 8 million arrests were Caucasian. 26.9 or 27% out of the 8 million, not 26.9 out of 50 million Black people. That is how they twist the data. They tell you, oh, 26.9 out of 50 million Black people in the United States committed crime. That is a cotton damn lie. It is 27% out of 8.5 million arrests. The data is in front of you. We're Black. Are you seeing the brainwashing, people? That's 2016. I got to move quickly because we still have a lot more to. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have to stop. I might have to do a part 2 on this because it's a lot of data. And I didn't even get to the under 18 where they really drilled down. Black people are criminals. Black people are criminals. Black people are criminals. And you know, people really believe this. They really do. They like really do believe Black people are criminals. Whatever. 2015. And I'm not only showing you the crime via the numbers, I'm showing you how to read the correct way to interpret the data. What they do when they twist the data is they look at crime as a percentage distribution. They look at crime as a percent. They take the percent, neglect everybody else in the United States who commits crime. They would say, oh, okay, so 2015, 26% of the black people committed crimes. What they don't tell you is 26% out of 8,248,709. They make it look like it's 26% of 50 million blacks, which is about a quarter of the black population. That's what they do. Are you following? Are you following? Are you understanding how to correctly interpret the data? Are you guys understanding how to correctly interpret the crime data? So when some uneducated fool comes to tell you about black crime, and I didn't even show you the race-based or inter-race-based crime, when you see those numbers, it's going to shatter even more programming, because they love to make it look like, oh, the black boogeyman are out there trying to kill white people. Okay? And vice versa. The majority of crimes in the black community are committed against black people. When you look at the crimes, the majority of white crimes in white communities are committed by white people against white people. People, it's proximity, not race. I can show you the data. Matter of fact, I'm going to skip over all the others and I'm going to show you. Okay? It's proximity, not race. Unbelievable the way they do this. I mean, this is some heavy programming. Heavy programming. So let me show you again. Okay? When you look at 69.7% of white crime, it is not 69.7% of the entire white population. It is 69.7% of the total crimes for that year. Not 70% of 246 million Americans. Not 26% of 240 million Americans for black people. Not 26% of 50 million black people. You're following? You're following? Okay. All right. I think I posted that one. The data, if you follow the data, you're going to see it for yourself. Okay. The most important thing with the data is you have to know how to interpret the table you're seeing. Okay. Because that is where they really trip up the zombies. Okay. Thank you, Avion. Thank you. Thank you. You understand what I'm trying to show you. The percentage is from the arrests, not the population at large. The majority of Americans are law-abiding citizens. But law-abiding citizens for vultures is not, there's no opportunity in law-abiding citizens. If you're law-abiding citizens, the government can tax you. There's no opportunity there. You understand? If you're not so-called law-abiding, then there's opportunity to make money off of you. Is anybody in the building? If you're a law-abiding citizen, the government already got you. You know how the government got you? Taxes. If you're not a law-abiding citizen, both the government got you and corporations have an opportunity. Is anybody in the building? Did anyone hear what I just said? Let me say that again. The majority of Americans are law-abiding people. Shocking, but they are. Right? Shocking, but they are. According to the statistics, According to the US statistics, the majority of American people are law-abiding people. Shocking. You'd never believe that if you watch television. Okay? But because they're law-abiding people, that means the only opportunity to make money off of them in terms of crime statistics is the government. The government got them with taxation. When you are not a law-abiding citizen, then you become a pariah. Well, not a pariah. You become prey. You become an opportunity, not just for the government, but for the corporations. Understand the programming. Let's continue. All right, so this is 2014. You can look at the data yourself. Again, 8,700,000 arrests were made out of 30 categories of crime. You can drill down on the data, it's in front of you, right? 70% of the 8 million plus arrests were white. 27% of the 8 million plus arrests were black. Okay? I didn't even get into the disproportionate prison sentencing. I am just doing this to show you that the majority of crimes in the United States are not committed by black people. And as a whole, Americans are law-abiding citizens. You wouldn't believe that if you watched the news. But look at the actual, the deviation. Okay, deviation in terms of the crimes that the FBI missed. It's not going to be that great out of a population of 250 million people. The deviation is not going to be that great. Okay, let's assume it's 20 million people who commit 20 million crimes in the United States is committed. That's still less than 2% out of 250 million people. It's still less than 2% of the crime. So the majority of American people are decent people. They're just brainwashed mind control zombies. And brainwashed mind control zombies can be dangerous ideologically. Not necessarily physically, but ideologically. Are you following? The majority of Americans are law-abiding citizens. I'm going to say it again. Now, anyone could look at this and see the racism in it. Okay? That is not what I'm dealing with today. You have enough people to jump on the race bandwagon with these statistics. I am just here for one reason. You're being mind controlled. You're being mind controlled. And when someone has control of your mind in the way you think, you are not free. I'm here to bring freedom and liberty to the zombies. Okay? I am here to set the zombies free. Yes, Avion. Yes, Avion. Opportunity, big business. That's the point. E. Carter, you got it. Right? It's an hour and 13 minutes. Deception and manipulation. Aha, you got it. You got it. Ronald, I hope he didn't leave. Well, it looks like Ronald left. He probably got pissed that I didn't agree with him. But I'm not here to talk about skin color. Like I said. And I want everyone to disagree. Disagree. I just want you to think. I don't care if you agree with me. Just goddamn think. Think. Okay? Ronald, I'm not here to disagree with you or pull you down. I just want people to think. That's all. Right? Think. But think on topic. Okay? Think on topic. Okay, I think Ronald left. I hope he didn't think I was like attacking him or anything. I really wasn't. I really wasn't. Okay? All right, so that's the crime statistics. Now, to be honest, anyone could look at the crime statistics and clearly see the race agenda. Hold on. If less than 1% of the crime population are black people, Why do they make up 50% of the prison inmates? So I'm not denying the racism in the system. I'm not denying it. But what I'm showing you is this. They twist the statistics and then they use lying imagery day in, day out, telling you the only people who commit crime in the United States and the reason why America is trash is the United States, and all black communities are crap and you can't go into a black community. Meanwhile, they're gentrifying all the black communities. And black communities are riddled with crime. This is the FBI crime statistics. You're following me? You're following me? So you need to see how you're being manipulated. Less than 1% of the crime in the United States are committed by black people. Less than 1% of the crime in the United States is committed by black people. Less than 1%. That's my point, Avion. Oh, and when black people show up, the community goes down. Let's look at the statistics, people. Let's look at the statistics. 250 million people in the United States, right? 2014. So at 1%, it's 2.5 million. At 1%. At 1% is 2.5 million. 2.4 million arrests were made of black people. We're not talking about one person committing multiple offenses. Let's assume this is 2.4 million black people, which it is not. It is not 2.4 million black people. One person who's black could have committed 5 offenses. There's 30 offenses, people. Are you understanding how to interpret the data? Okay, the same for whites. 6 million arrests were made. It's not 6 million white people, because one Caucasian could have committed 30 offenses. Okay, let's continue. 2.4 arrests, hold on, is less than 2.5. 2.4. Let's assume this is people. Let's assume it's one crime per charge. One person commit one charge. So that would be 2.4 million black people if one person committed one charge, right? Hold on. 2.4 is less. This is 1% of 250 million is 2.5. Hold on. So you mean to tell me less than 1% of the black population committed crime in the United States? But I thought all black people were criminals. People, Lord have mercy, people. Are you guys beginning to see the witchcraft? Are you guys beginning to see the witchcraft? No, T. Jordan. Remember, I said before, the reason why they had to use color, you got to identify the person. Okay, someone commits a crime. Okay, you go to the police. The police say, okay, what do they look like? 6 feet tall. What else? They had brown eyes. Okay, great. They had a nose and lips. Okay, their nose was straight. Their nose was round. They had a button nose. They had a curved nose. They had a hook nose. What kind of nose? Okay, all right, forget their nose. What about their lips? Were their lips thin? Were their lips medium? Was it round? Was it puffy? Was it fluffy? Was it thick? Was it thin? Okay, what was their color? Were they white? Were they black? Were they yellow? Were they blue? Were they pink? So the reason to add race was for identification. But here's what I'm trying to show you. Someone saw an opportunity to make money. Is anybody in the building? Someone saw, hold on, this statistics, I could make some buku cash with the right marketing. I could roll in the money, and I can hoodwink some zombies while I'm doing it. So the reason why you need race is because you're not living in a homogeneous society. You're going to have to identify the person who committed the crime. And even if you lived in a homogeneous society, an all black population, you're still going to have to describe their color. Are they a light skinned black? Are they yellow black? Are they brown black? Are they blue black? Are they purple black? You have to describe the person, right? But someone saw that as an opportunity to make money, right? The statistics are there, people. 2.4 million arrests. And I'm assuming it's 2.4 million people. However, I think it might be less than 2.4 million people because one person could probably commit multiple offenses. That's why I'm like, how did they really drill down this data? Is it 2.4 million people? Nope. 2.4 million arrests. One person could have committed 30 offenses multiple times and been arrested multiple times. So the number, let's assume one arrest per person. Let's assume. So it'd be 2.4 million black people, right? Let's look at white people. Okay, hold on. Okay, so if the assumption is 2.5 is 1% of the US population, right? And it's 6 million whites, then it's just about a little bit over double. Okay, so it's not 1%, it's about 2%. Okay, this one, a little bit more, or maybe some would say it's not really 3%. Okay, so this one, 2.4, 1% of the population is 2.5 million people. 2.4 is less than 1%. People, are you seeing how you're being hoodwinked? All right, guys, I think I went on and I droned on and on and on and on about this. The reason why I have to do this is because people claim to be waking up, still holding on to programming that's not true. T. Gordon, you got it. Insightful. Yes. Yeah. It's right there. Anyone can go look at these statistics. Thank you, Avion. Thank you so much for that. Yep. Thank you so much for that reminder. Right? 2.4 million arrests is less than 2.5 million Americans. Okay? Even the white population is low. People, the majority of Americans are law-abiding citizens. But apparently, law-abiding citizens doesn't make for good 6 o'clock news. Are you seeing how you're programmed to believe, to hate your fellow Americans? That's the moral of this. The moral of this, I am not going into the justice system and the criminal justice system and the injustice. That is not what I'm here for. I'm here to show you the majority of your fellow Americans are law-abiding people. And you're being programmed to hate your fellow Americans. It's a programming, people. It's a programming. If I wanted to subvert a country, and let me just post you all of the stats so you can see I'm not making any of this up, okay? And guys, watch, you're going to see on the news. They're going to come with some programming. They're going to ramp up the programming. Watch and see. Don't say I didn't warn you. 2012, same thing. Even among the white population, the crime, if you're basing the crime off of the entire US population, among the white population, it's still low. Because if 2.5 million, okay, is 1%, and 6 million are committing the crime, it's a little bit over 2%. It's still low. It's still low. But that tells you something. The majority of your fellow Americans, white or black, are decent people. But there is no money to be made with decent people. The only people who can make money off of decent people It's the government. That's it, through taxation. Okay. Let's see, 2011. Okay, yeah, these were the race and victims. Okay. I am not, let me repeat myself because I know people are going to come on here and they're going to say, oh, she's undermining crime and criminals and letting the criminals get people. No, I am not doing that. Okay, hold on. All right. People, there is an agenda, and I'm going to shut up with this. There is an agenda. The agenda is to keep those who are not at the top fighting and killing each other so that you would never unite to stop those who are trying to kill you. Did anyone hear my conclusion? Because the conclusion is important. The conclusion is important. Did anyone hear what I just said? And I'll be done in 4 minutes. If they can use crime statistics, lie with the statistics, twist the statistics, and to make one group look like, oh, they're the reason why America is being destroyed, then you would never focus on who's really destroying America. And it is not Black people. Think about it, people. Black people who live in America, why would they collectively destroy the place their children have to live? Think about it. Let me say that again. For all the ills that has happened to Black people, right? Think about it. Why would they destroy the place that their children have to live? So the reason why they lie with statistics is so that the majority, who are Caucasians, would look at Black people and think those damn Black people are destroying America. So they would not focus on who is really destroying America. And I'm about to tell you who. And I'm going to do it in 3 minutes. Thank you, Ronald, for coming back. Watch this. I'm going to use a little story and then I'm done. Okay, because this is way too long. If I were an enemy and I wanted to destroy the great United States, how would I do it? Would I attack America using weapons? Nah, they'll just respond and destroy me. If I wanted to destroy the United States, now how would I do it? I would first study the culture. And I would study the people. And then I would study the majority of Black people too are good people. Okay? The problem is too many people are damn zombies. And that is the problem we have. But let me continue. Now, if I wanted to destroy the United States, would I attack it with weapons? Nah, if I did, they'll destroy me. I know what I'll do. I would study the culture. I would study the people. I would really study their history. And then when I look into their history, I'm going to look for all the sins and crimes and wickedness committed. And what I'm going to look for is only things in history that I could use in order to turn one against the other. Right? Because if I wanted the United States, a country that has military might that could wipe me off the map, I can't fight them with weapons. You know how I would fight them? In the mind. You want to know the second reason why and how I'd fight them? America was considered an experiment, a great experiment. Can you have black people living in America? White people living in America? Asian people living in America? Pacific Islander living in America? Caribbean people, African people living in America? The great experiment required that you had people living in America from different places. So there's not one unifying culture. So what would I do if I wanted to destroy the United States? I would subvert the cultures one against each other. You see, that's why I'm against critical race theory. Is America built upon racism? Well, you got to be blind if you can't see that. Yes, it is. But critical race theory is not justice for black people for the injustices they experienced. Oh, what do you mean by that? Let me show you what I mean. Critical race theory is to get black people, let me rephrase that. It's to use black people and use the injustice of slavery and apartheid, which is segregation, and redlining. Watch what I'm showing you here. Use them to take down white people so that both white and black people have nothing in order to bring about the Great Reset. Is anybody in the building? Did you guys hear what I said? Don't look at the specific agenda. Look at the overall agenda. What is the overall agenda? Anytime they give you anything, you have to ask yourself, hey, what's in it for them? Think about what I'm saying. What's in it for the people at the top if you introduce critical race theory in the schools? You think it's to give black people justice in history? Hell no. The people at the top are the ones whose ancestors enslaved you. It wasn't the people at the bottom that instituted slavery. It was the people who are putting critical race theory in the schools. Did anyone hear what I just said? Ronald, yes. You know why? By virtue of this is your country. If you divide up your country, what are you leaving your children? Let me show you what I mean, okay? Yes, the history of America is racist and it is brutal. I am not denying it. But critical race theory is not a win. Understand that the people that created critical race theory, sponsored critical race theory, are the descendants of the people who paid and created the racism they're claiming the people at the bottom created. The people at the bottom did not create racism. It was institutions from the top. Slavery was not created. Do you understand that the average person in Europe, when slavery occurred, was poor and landless? When slavery occurred, slavery started from the wealthy elite at the top, not the people at the bottom. Critical race theory is to attack the people at the bottom. Let me explain what that means. Two crabs in a bucket fighting over crumbs. If the people who created critical race theory really cared about black people, let me tell you what they do. They will trace down all these wealthy people at the top whose families became billionaires and trillionaires from the slave trade and get them to pay black people for slavery, not you attack your neighbor from the bottom. Is anybody in the building? The concept of scientific racism. Do you understand that when slavery occurred, the average European was not educated? It was the elite Europeans, the nobles, the elite who were educated and created the system of racism and apartheid. It came from the top. Are you understanding? Why don't those at the top who created critical race theory, why don't those who are descendants at the top, they are the descendants of the slave traders, why aren't they giving black people reparations? Instead, they give them critical race theory. Ask yourself why. Why are they giving you critical race theory instead of monies their family made from throwing your ancestors into slavery? Because the agenda is you at the bottom to fight you at the bottom, so you don't focus at us at the top, robbing both of you blind. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? That's what I'm trying to show you. I am not denying racism in America. Okay, but who instituted it? Do you understand that racism in America had laws? Let me ask you a question. Did the average white person on the ground, when open racism, did the average white person on the ground, did the average person on the ground make the laws, or were the laws made from the top? When you had segregation, was it the people on the ground who created the laws to segregate, or was it the people at the top who created the laws and then used the system to impose it on others? People, you got to understand when you're being played. I am not saying don't teach history. I say teach all of it. Teach all of history. All of it. Put all of history, the good, the bad, and the ugly in school. All of it. What I'm saying to you is that critical race theory is an extension of the Great Reset. Get the black people at the bottom to fight white people, to bring them down so that those at the top run away with everything. And what are you left with? Two crabs at the bottom fighting, and then here's what they do. They crash the economy after they rob black people blind, because black people be like, yay, we won, we got critical race theory in school. And then white people are pissed because they're like, oh, okay, all of us are racist. Okay, we're going to buy some guns. Then they crash the economy after they rob all of you blind by running away with all your hard-earned money and hitting you with inflation. After they run away with all your money, get the government to print money so that they could buy up all the assets while they make you think you're winning with critical race theory. So you blacks are fighting you whites, and you whites are fighting you blacks, and they run away with the bag. When they've gotten all the money, bankrupted your country, bought up all the resources, priced you out of homes, priced you out of rent, priced you out of lands, taxed you to the ground, they crashed the economy and said you need a microchip in your head in order to get food. Are you understanding the name of the game? Today we are deprogramming zombies. If those at the top really cared, they would take all their money and say, oh, look, our ancestors were the ones who instituted slavery, were the ones who wrote the law. It wasn't poor people writing laws, people. It wasn't poor. I am not saying that white people at the bottom didn't follow those laws. I said they did. But you must, people, look at what happened the last 2 years. People, look at what laws, not laws, sorry, they weren't laws. People, look at what mandates did to so-called high IQ people. Let me say it again. I keep telling Americans, when you at the bottom hate your fellow Americans because they're white, because they're black, what are you leaving your children? When you Americans hate your fellow Americans because one is Christian and the other is Muslim, your Christian children have to go to school with your Muslim children. What are you leaving your children to live in? Americans, when you hate the Democrats and you hate your fellow Americans who are Republicans, what America are you leaving your children to live in? Because at the end of the day, what you institute today is your children that's going to reap it tomorrow. I am not saying don't teach history, teach all of goddamn history. What I'm saying is not an agenda that brings about the Great Reset. You're following? Because the critical race theory is for one thing only: bring down whites to the level of blacks. Bankrupt the country, leave the two of them decimate, crash the economy after you rob them all, okay? And then you're left with the Hunger Games. Okay? Think about what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to show the crime statistics. Because I wanted white people to understand you don't need to be afraid of the average black person. The average black person is a law-abiding American. The average white American is a law-abiding American. You have criminals in America the same way you have criminals everywhere. Okay? Learn to live in damn peace with each other, or else you're going to be destroyed from within. America, Black America, white America, your enemies are inside your gates. Let me say it again. America, your enemies are inside your gates. And many of you have children. Let me tell you something. You continue down this line, your children will be wanderers. You see those Haitians at the border after they destroyed Haiti, and the Haitians and Biden parted the Caribbean Sea and said, let my people go. And the Haitian people walked across on dry land and ended up at the Texas border. Okay? When President Biden raised his Joseph Moses Biden raised his staff and said, Pharaoh is coming, and Pharaoh's in Haiti, and he parted the Caribbean Sea, and the Haitian people walked across, and they ended up at the Texas border. A stateless, landless people. Let me tell you something about how wicked these devils are at the top. Let me tell you, America. Let me tell you people who perpetuate racism. Their goal for you is to be a stateless, landless people. You see, like the Iraqis, like the Syrians, like the Palestinians, you see, like the Libyans. This is their plan for you, America. Your enemies are not outside orchestrating your destruction. They're inside. So I'm not saying don't teach history. I say teach all of history. All of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. What I'm saying is the agenda is to bring about the global reset, which is all of the humans broke, busted, dusted, crusted, musted, and disgusted and own nothing. And that is why all of a sudden they act like they like black people. Black people, if they liked you, they wouldn't give you critical race theory. They would give you equality. You know what that means? The 50% of black people rotting in prison who never committed the crime they'd set free. If the people at the top really like black people, they're not going to give them critical race theory. You know what they'll do? They would put money into the black communities to open up black businesses. Instead, 85% of black businesses shut law-abiding, tax-paying American black people. 85% of their businesses were shut down during COVID. And you come to tell me what black people need now is critical race theory? To hell with that shit. What they need is businesses in their community. If they really cared about you, They're not going to give you critical race theory. They will give you funding so that you open up more businesses in your community. Not like the past 2 years, 85% of Black businesses shut down and then they were denied loans. Okay? Critical race theory? That's what they're giving you and calling it equality? Nonsense. You following? Stop taking trinkets. They'd give you land. The 50% of the prisons are Black people, and the 50% of that 50% are innocent. They'd free them. They'd give you land. They'll give you equipment. They'll give you skills. That's what they'll do. They won't give you a theory. What the hell is a theory going to do for you? Black people, seriously, what the hell is a theory going to do for you? No, really. Critical race theory. Okay, great. What is it going to do for you, Black people? No, really. What is it going to do for you? You're going to debate about a theory? You're going to eat the theory? Critical race, are you going to eat the theory? Are you going to drink the theory? Are you going to take critical race theory to the bank and withdraw some funds to start a business? Are you understanding? Okay. Is critical race theory going to give you proper health care? Thank you, T. Gordon. Is critical race theory going to pay your rent? Is critical race theory going to give you the money to buy property in a good neighborhood? Is critical race theory going to give you the money to buy up your neighborhood? Is critical race theory going to give you money to put proper police officers in your community? Is critical race theory going to help you raise your children properly? Is anybody in the building today? No, really. They're giving you critical race theory. That is less than crumbs. Do you know what a theory is? And then they tell you it's a theory. Do you understand what a theory is? A theory is something that has not been proven. Racism is real, yet they tell you it's a theory. Black people, will you get to roko, Black people. Racism is real, and yet they call what you've been through a theory. Any of you going for this need your head examined. Did you hear what I just said? Racism is real. Okay? Not every white person is racist. Okay? But the system was built. The system was built on racism, so it's real. So they took what you've been through and said, we're going to give you justice, and called it a theory. Hey. Let me ask you a question. The destruction of Detroit, when they took all the manufacturing and sent it to China, okay, that provided jobs and built an entire city, is the kind of reparations you need, not a theory inside of the damn schools. A theory means it has not been proven. Black people, they're playing you and they're using you to bring about nefarious agendas. Let me show you again. So-called Black Lives Matter, okay? Even though the real people who created Black Lives Matter were all found summarily executed. All of them were killed. And the last surviving creator of Black Lives Matter put out a video on YouTube telling Black people do not join Black Lives Matter because it was being taken over by big money. He was later found in his white car in the back of a restaurant with a gunshot wound to the head. Okay, let me continue. Black Lives Matter. Okay, so you're for Black people. Yes, we the secretary of the police killing Black people. Okay, wonderful. Let me ask you a question. How do you burn down Black businesses that bring in Black income to Black families in order to fight white injustice against Black people? Is anybody in the building? So you're telling me in order to fight so-called white injustice against black people, which happens, you burn down black businesses. You go black neighborhood to black neighborhood to black neighborhood, burn down black businesses to stop white people from killing black people. Can anybody help me make this make sense? Make this make sense. You ready for this? It gets even worse. After you burn down the black businesses, the very corporations who are giving you critical race theory, I'm about to bring it home, come into the neighborhood and now buy up all the burnt out property that was once black owned businesses for pennies on the dollar. People, black people, are you serious? But your problem is your average white person. Black people, come on. Understand when you're being played. If the people wanted equality and justice, let me explain to you what they would do. Rule number one, here's some land. You know how much land the government has? But then again, I'd be wary about taking government land because they might put the creatures on the land. Anyway, that's for another day. Okay, let's go in. If they're serious, they're not going to give you Black Lives Matter, who are burning down black law-abiding businesses. Okay, number two, if these people were serious about injustice, they're not going to give you something called a theory. A theory means it hasn't been proven. Avion. Oh, we got to post this. Oh, now you're understanding capitalism. You know, one of the books you need to read is Sir Eric Williams' Slavery and Capitalism. That book got him in trouble with the British government. Read that book. When I used to read. Anyway, back to the point. Black people, if the creatures at the top, because it's creatures and clones and holograms, who have taken over the United States government with a hostile takeover, take over the world government. Anyway, if the ruling creatures at the top all of a sudden woke up and had a change of consciousness, oh, we love black people, they're not going to give you a theory, black people. Avion, well done. They're not going to give you a theory. They're going to give you facts. You know, like the facts I just showed you. They're going to come on television and say, oops, we lied. The majority of crimes in the United States are not committed by black people. That's the first thing they do. If the people at the top who's giving you critical race theory really woke up and said, oh, I've been baptized and Jesus saved me and I should tell the truth, they will give you facts, not theories. Okay? The first fact they'll give you, and then I'll shut up and I'm done. They would get on the 6 o'clock news and said the majority of crimes in the United States are not committed by black people. In fact, the majority of black people in the United States are law-abiding citizens. That would end racism yesterday. The second thing they would do is they would say that means that we wrongfully incarcerated about 50%, if not more, of the black population in prison. They would release them. Not only would they release them, they would also pay them for wrongful incarceration. Okay? And don't get me wrong, there's wrongful incarceration too of white people. You could just go and watch the videos on YouTube. White, black, Hispanic, it's just out of control. Okay? They're not going to give you a theory, black people. They're going to give you facts. Okay? Number 3, here is what they would say. They would say, look, we want economic development in black communities. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set aside, zone out all the black communities in the United States. And what we're going to do is we're going to incentivize black-owned businesses in that city and in that area. They are going to give you facts, not theories. Critical race a theory is something that is unproven. Racism is real. Okay? So it can't be real as people experience it and a theory at the same time. You're being played. Black Lives Matter, as it is today, is not in the interest of Black people. It's in the interest of mega corporations, and they are used to burn down Black communities so the corporations could come in and buy up the properties for pennies on the dollar. Okay? So, with that said, people, the last thing I'll leave you with is this. Americans, if I wanted to destroy your country, okay? If I wanted to destroy your country, do you know how I'd do it? I would destroy you from within. Not only would I destroy you from within, I would put every color in the United States against each other. I would put every political persuasion against each other. I would put every religious ideology against each other. I would put every cultural identity against each other. I would divide your genders up, and I would stop calling people human, and I would label you via your perceived agenda. Okay? I wouldn't say you're human. I would dehumanize you, meaning strip away your humanity first, because you're a human first. I would destroy your humanity and put everything else before that. So you're no longer an American citizen, you're transgender. You're no longer an American, you're Black. You're no longer an American, you're white. You're no longer an American, you're Christian, no Muslim, or you're no longer American, you're a patriot. I would divide you up in labels. Then I would go and whisper in the ear of one on this side and tell them you did this and this and this, and then go in the ear of the other one and said, but they did this and this and this, and sit back and watch the two of you fight. And I'm going to keep doing it until when you wake up, you're left with no country. Okay? Are you following? By the time you wake up, America, to what's being done to you, you will have no fucking country. Get your goddamn act together and unite under the banner of an American. After you win the war as Americans, then you can go back fighting over skin color. All right? Understand. If you continue, you will not have a country. Don't say I didn't warn you. So put aside your bullshit. Put aside your transgenderism. Okay? Put aside that men can chest feed and give birth to babies. Put aside your Black people are all criminals and white people are all racists or rapists. Put it all aside and fight for the land that you're on. Otherwise, you will have no land. Have a good night. Bye.